Welcome back everyone to Mona's Take. I am your host Mona Rose and we are here to talk about everything reality TV. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything I've got coming up. I'm going to have a two-part video on this one. We've got a lot of information to cover. HOH, the Bestie twist, the noms, conversation going into the noms. So I'm going to break this up into two parts so that each video is not as long. There are spoiler alerts, so if you do not want to know who got HOH and who was nominated and anything about the Bestie twist, wait until after Sunday night's show and come back and watch this video. People are acting on a whole nother level on that. Can't wait to see that karma train coming through. Choo-choo. Mood of the day. Really? You gotta give us more credit than that. Some people, buckle up, buttercup. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. So let's get right into it. According to Spoiler King, Pooch did leave the house. He did not leave the house gracefully. I think that he made it very uncomfortable for everybody that was in the house. Can't wait to see that on Sunday night's episode because, of course, we don't get to see any of that. So there's a few things that I'm looking forward to seeing on the Sunday night show that we may not have been privy to. So, our new HOH. Nobody who I would have thought would have won it. I figured that this person would have been the last person to win HOH. But Turner is our new HOH. Yes, Turner. At first when I saw this, I figured he's going to turn this house upside down. Everybody's going to be scared. And I'm here for it. They show Amira. And Amira is clearly pissed for a long time. Most of the night last night, every time the camera panned on her, she was not talking to anybody. She was in social settings, but she was staring out into space, and you could clearly see that she was pissed. Evidently, the HOH came down to her and Turner beat her. Alright, besties. We'll go over the pairs first. They are Brittany and Michael, Indy and Alyssa, Terrence and Amira, Nicole and Taylor, Monty and Joseph, Daniel and Kyle, Jasmine and Turner. Now, Turner was the last one to pick because he was HOH. And of course, nobody had picked Jasmine to this point because of her injury. Nobody wants to be tied to someone who's injured that can't compete in the competitions. I get it. We don't know how long this Bestie plot is going to last. Right now, I'm waiting for Spoiler King to start making some tweets. He's in a Zoom meeting, or thought what would be a Zoom meeting right now with Grodner, but evidently she came into the building. So they're actually in a meeting right now to map out this week what's going to happen, and he's going to let us know what comes out of that meeting. So I fully expect that we should get a little bit more clarification on that. Have-nots. Indy and Alyssa. They only have one pair of have-nots this week. And everyone thought that Turner was going to have to pick the have-nots. But as it turns out, Turner did not have to pick the have-nots. But his bestie did, which is Jasmine. So she's looking around the room and she's like, oh, come on, guys. Any volunteers? I don't know who's paired with who. I'm going to need a minute. Nobody will look me in the eye. And she's just like wasting time. You know, it needs to be someone who hasn't been a have-not yet. I don't want to make someone who was just a have-not last week a have-not this week. So she's him-hawing around, and Alyssa finally steps up and says, Indy and I can do it. We haven't been have-nots. Indy was not happy about that. So Jasmine picked Alyssa and Indy for the have-nots. If any of you have watched my videos, you've known how, or you've heard how everyone was treating Turner in the house. Talking about him just being, I think as a few people said, how was he raised? Coming in without knocking, putting his feet on the table, putting his feet on the bed, eating Jasmine's stuff, using her bathroom. And I heard the comments several times about, well, he was raised differently than we were, or how was he raised? These same people are stuck up his ass right now. Alyssa has not left his side. She is like in his ear, whatever she can do for him. Just kissing up, kissing up, kissing up. Like I said, Amira, she's pissed. She's clearly pissed. She's in deep thought every time you see her. And I, for one, am happy to see it. I'm happy to see her squirm. Turner says that he needs to find out who was behind flipping the house to get Pooch out. He wants to know how it started, who came up with the plan, and that's the person he's gunning for. Indy's mad because she didn't win, and she's a have-not. She's seen crying in the bedroom. She really wanted to win. She really wanted a letter from home. She wanted to save herself from not having to be a have-not. So she's pretty upset. All right, how's this bestie twist going to play out? Let's start with HOH. Since Turner is HOH and Jasmine is his bestie, she is safe for the week. Jasmine's got safety for another week. We have to see her face on that screen. I, for one, was not happy about that. Noms. So there'll only be one pair. You cannot nominate two different people, or two people from two different pairs. It has to be one pair that's nominated to go up on the block. The veto will be Turner and Jasmine, which cannot play if it's a physical call. Whoever Turner puts on the block, and then they're going to pull one chip, and that one chip determines the other two people that will play in the veto. So if whoever he puts on the block wins the veto and pulls themselves down, then he has to pick another set of besties to go on the block. Jasmine's in everybody's ear and telling them, we can still get Taylor out. All we got to do is tell Turner that Taylor's the one that flipped the vote, and that Taylor's the reason that Pooch went home, and that Taylor told us about the guys' twist. The guys' alliance. And just pawn everything off on Taylor, and then he'll put Taylor up, which will in turn put Nicole up, because Nicole is her partner. But Nicole's okay with that, because she says, I'll be a pawn. Everybody hates Taylor. Everybody wants Taylor out. And the thing is, if Jasmine wanted Taylor out, she was just HOH. She could have got Taylor out, but she chose to get Pooch out. So now she wants to use Turner's HOH to get Taylor out, to get what she couldn't get done. The names that keep coming up over and over are Michael and Brittany and Taylor and Nicole. Everybody is saying their names. Everybody doesn't trust Brittany. Everybody doesn't trust Taylor. So it's the same old song and dance, rinse and repeat. Monty and Joseph talk in the storage room. And Monty is still all for getting Taylor out. And Joseph said, I don't know, man. Turner wants to find out who made this house flip and who outed our guys' alliance. And that's who he wants out. He's out for blood. We need to do some investigating. We need to find out who this person is so that we can help him and we can get that person out of here. Now remember, Monty's the one that leaked the alliance. So Monty starts, oh no, we don't need to do all that investigating. No, we don't need to waste our breath with that. It's done. It's over. We need to move forward. We need to get Taylor out of here. She's a threat. She's a threat. So he don't want anybody investigating who leaked that alliance, because somebody may throw his name out there to cover their own ass to keep them from going on the blog, which is what I highly anticipate happening. We will see. Okay, so Jasmine's going in. She's working her plan. She tells Turner that Taylor's the one that flipped the vote, that it's all Taylor's fault, that she is just so upset. She didn't see this coming. She was shocked when it said 12-1 to vote Pooch out. She didn't know what happened. She was in the dark. Played it up perfectly. That she's the one that leaked the guy's alliance. Now, what she tells Turner is Taylor was upstairs in the pool room napping up in the loft, acting like she was napping, and that she overheard Pooch and somebody else downstairs at the kitchen table talking about the alliance and the Oasis and talking about the name of it. And that she overheard it, and that she went back to all the girls and told the girls that there was an all-guys alliance named the Oasis, that she just heard that. And not only did she hear that, but she heard Pooch say that all the girls were up in the Queen's Palace, but that's okay because the Kings were going to be in the penthouse next week. Now, she added just enough truth to her lie that it will be believable, because if any of the other girls talk about Pooch making that statement about the Queen's Palace and the King's Penthouse, it's going to add up. So she dogs Taylor, she dogs Brittany the whole time. She spends quite a while up there talking to Turner, telling Turner that she would never vote him out, that she would never put him on the blog, that she really thinks it's cool that they're paired together, that they can work this because she can work the girls, he can work the guys. And Turner is buying it hook, line, and sinker. I think I saw a tweet that said that Turner had the lowest IQ out of all the house guests. So production thinks that they can get in his head to make Taylor stay another week. The only way that's going to happen is if they sacrifice Michael or Brittany. It went on and on. And then Joseph comes in to talk to Turner, and he's like, dude, you need to be careful. You need to be super careful. He said, you need to remember that you and I were the last two to know about Pooch, which means that there's a lot of people in this house that kept us in the dark until the last minute. Which means there's a lot of people in this house that's lying to us, and we need to find out who it is. Don't you forget what happened today. We need to make sure that doesn't happen to us. We need to avenge Pooch's exit. So Joseph is keeping Turner thinking about what happened with Pooch being voted out. What's funny to me is that every single person in that house, with the exception of Turner and Joseph, lied to Pooch's face the whole week, knowing that as soon as he was nominated, they started talking about getting him out. So every one of those people lied to his face. But every one of those same people are throwing Michael and Brittany under the bus for lying to Pooch, for telling Pooch that they had his back when they didn't. You cannot make this stuff up. So yeah, it's same thing, rinse and repeat. It's get Taylor out, it's get Brittany out. Those are two of the names that keep coming up. Alyssa is not even on the radar. Turner's already said he would never put Alyssa up. And of course, she's staying right up his butt to make sure of that. He's not going to put up Kyle, Daniel, Monty, Joseph. He's not going to put up Terrence, so that saves a mirror. The next video will be on the discussions had leading up to the noms and the nominations. So right now for part 1, this is all I have for you guys. See you back here in a minute. Much love.